when I got into high school is when everything started to change. I started feeling a lot of anger and a lot of bitterness towards my family. Hi, my name's Amy. When I was really little, I grew up in a really good family. We loved each other a lot. We had a lot of fun. We went on family vacations. I was raised in daycare, but my family, I still knew that they loved me, and everything about my life was good. I was just a perfect little kid all the way up until middle school. I always did the right thing, got straight A's, just wanted to please my family. When I got into high school, I had a lot of bitterness and anger towards my family, towards my friends. I lost a lot of friends at the end of a relationship because the guy was just very controlling. And going into my 10th grade year, I found a lot of friends through just anybody that would accept me. They weren't good influences. They really got me into partying and got me into drinking and smoking. I got into online chatting, and I would chat with people all the time. I just felt like in every situation I could go to them, just tell them. There was one guy in particular that I talked to a lot, almost a year and a half, and after a year and a half of talking and really just investing a lot of my heart into this person, he told me he was going to the war because he was 22 and I was 15 or 16 years old anymore. So I decided that it'd be okay to go and meet this guy, to meet him in person for the first time. So I took my friend, who didn't try to stop me, actually encouraged it a lot, and we went and met this guy in the Walmart parking lot. He took us to the back of these woods and got me to get into the back of his truck, and things happened that I really regret. And after that night, I just kind of let go and just kind of started doing anything. I didn't care anymore. I was just free. I had already done something so terrible that what else could be that bad, you know? I had no respect for myself or anyone else. I was just a really mean person. I decided at that point that nothing I did mattered. I was partying, and one night I got so drunk I passed out in my parents' bathroom. I had a party at my house while my parents were gone. By the end of the party, I had gotten so drunk that I just passed out in my parents' bathroom. I woke up the next morning not knowing who had been in my house, not knowing when they had left or what had happened, and I just started crying. I was so mad at myself. I just hated myself for letting that happen in my house and letting people come over that I really didn't know all that well, and just the danger that I had really put everybody through. And I just broke. I was so mad, and I just realized that I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't go on like this. I just hated everything about myself. So the next week, Mia actually called me and invited me to go to this church that she had just been invited to. I really didn't like Mia at all. I thought she was weird, and I didn't want to talk to her, much less go to a church service with her. I didn't feel worthy of that. I didn't feel like that was where I should go. I just happened to be working that week, that Wednesday, and I couldn't. But the next week, she invited me again, and I said okay for some reason. And I still, to this day, it has to be God, because there's no way that I would have just gone with Mia anywhere, especially to church. And I went, and I really liked it. Everybody here is so welcoming and so inviting, and they just really genuinely felt like they cared about me. A couple months into going to Generation, Pastor Joey had preached a message, and it had really shaken my heart a lot. I had gone to bed that night and woke up around 2 o'clock in the morning and just started writing. Just writing, and then I fell back asleep. The next morning when I woke up, I read what I had written, and it talked about how I needed to change, and I needed to just leave that past behind and just stop with everything that I was doing and just give it all to God. Because if I didn't, I would perish and I would go to hell, because I hadn't given it all to God yet. I had still been holding on to so much, and so much pain and so much hurt and so much of my past. And at that moment is where I truly gave my heart over and gave everything over to God. And ever since then, I haven't stopped. I just keep going, and I just love God, and I just want everybody to know him and everybody to just feel what I felt and understand that God is the only thing that can fill that void, and that parties and guys and all that stuff is never going to fill that void in your heart, and God is the only thing that is sufficient enough for anything in your life.